when you apply quantum mechanics to gravity, and we don't have a quantum gravity theory yet. Some people think we might be getting close, but we don't know if it is. But one of the things is quantum mechanics says things fluctuate. And if gravity is a theory of space and time, if you make space and time quantum mechanical variables, then it is perfectly possible for universes to pop into existence. Space and time to pop into existence where there was no space and time before.
Hold on.
Now, hold on. I haven't had a chance to talk yet.
I must ask you a question here.
What?
Space and time pop into existence. You make that sound like a temporal process, a process in time.
Well, because I said so you can understand it.
Huh?
No, I mean, I used words, and the problem with words are...
You can't have time coming into existence as itself a temporal process. That makes no sense.
Well,
that's why it's good to have philosophers around, which I'm not one to help you use language precisely.
Why don't you like his nothing? That sounded like a good
Well, first
nothing.
of all, as he himself admits, his nothing is a something. And
Well,
when you start with a
what is
contradiction,
the
you can
something?
derive anything.
But
It's
the
a
question,
physical
why is there
object,
something-
it has structure, it obeys laws, complex
hold-
laws, there's a
hold-
lot of
hold-
stuff going on.
hold-
I mean, my bank account, where there's no money in it, is still something. And,
Yeah,
and the
absolutely.
vacuum is a hell of a lot more of something
okay,
than my bank account.
Okay, and the point is that even the laws don't have to exist. There could be in the
Wait.
multiverse.
You said a quantum fluctuation brings the universe into
That's
existence.
because if there are many universes, as current theory
the multiverse.
suggests, that in each of them the laws of physics essentially come into existence when the universe comes into existence. There are different laws of physics
then
in
you
each
can't
universe.
invoke a quantum fluctuation
but
to
maybe,
give you the universe
but I
that has
don't know,
quantum fluctuations.
But what is in
You know, the old equation that we have, God created the world out of nothing, so it's God plus nothing equals the world. And you take God out of the equation, so now we have blank plus nothing equals the world. And what you put in the blank is the laws of nature. And I think you see the laws of nature, particularly the laws of quantum field theory, very much as divine commands. So I think you're shall we say, insufficiently enlightened.
Oh,
How dare you
snap!
be so rude? Why, no one's ever said that.
It's interesting, in my country, you can go into almost any bookshop and the shelves are groaning with the works of Richard Dawkins, denouncing the terrible people who think that just maybe possibly the theory of evolution may have some faults. You cannot find, try as you may, a single book which can give you any idea of what it is that Professor Dawkins is attacking. It's not allowed. No publisher will publish it. No bookshop will stock it. One of the other things which is fascinating is the way in which what I might call the Darwinist lobby exults currently over the recent court case in which it managed to suppress any teaching of the existence of the theory of intelligent design. Now they're exulting over the suppression of what somebody else wants to say. That seems to me to be a strange transformation and a very telling one. And it is the intolerance and rage of the Darwinists against any expression of skepticism, however cautious, scientifically based and well qualified, which actually makes me wonder whether the ID people may not have a point.
It wasn't just biologists who were feeling the Darwinist wrath. When neurosurgeon Michael Egnor wrote an essay to high school students saying doctors didn't need to study evolution in order to practice medicine, the Darwinists were quick to try and exterminate this new threat.
A lot of people on a lot of blogs called me unprintable names that were printed. There are a lot of very, very nasty comments. Other people suggested that people call the university I work at and suggested perhaps it's time for me to retire. I realized when I kind of went public with my doubts about the adequacy of Darwin's theory that I would encounter criticism. What has amazed me is the viciousness and the sort of baseness of it. There's nothing to be learned in neurosurgery by assuming an accidental origin for the parts of the brain that we work on.
In addition to those scientists who were willing to appear on camera, we encountered many more who didn't dare show their face for fear of losing their jobs.
It's the kind of thing where you just learn to keep your mouth shut. You use an intelligent design perspective to get the research done. But you're not allowed to talk about it in public.
When did you stop believing in God?
I realized at the age of about 9 that there were lots of different religions and they couldn't all be right. But then I carried on believing in some sort of deistic God, some sort of divine creator. And that disappeared when I finally understood Darwinism and the fact that you don't actually need any kind of designer whatsoever in order to explain the beauty, the elegance of life and the apparent design of life.
Possible that you might turn to God?
I mean, science is changing all the time. I mean, if science as we now know it falls short in helping us to understand, then science needs to be changed. And doubtless it will be changed. It's been changed often enough in the past.
But could it ever change in a direction toward the supernatural?
I don't think it can. I mean, that's not a helpful way to put it. It will change in the direction of something which is so different from the natural that we at present understand that a naive person might call it supernatural, but it wouldn't be Zeus or Jove or Wotan or Yahweh.
What qualities would you say that intelligence reflects or has? Is this a personal force or being?
Yes. Well, you're suggesting activity. It's very hard to think of a conscience, a conscious.
So if this being is doing something, then it must be personal in some sense.
I should have thought that, so, but this is completely new to me. I haven't even begun to think about this book that I am certainly not going to attempt to write.
Do you think the fact that this being created for whatever purpose a suitable habitat for humankind, does that indicate at all a sense of caring? You said in 2004 that you hope that there's no afterlife.
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't want to go on forever, and a fortiori, I do not want to be tortured eternally.
If the Christian God exists, what would he have to do to convince you of that?
I don't know. After all, I've never thought about this at all, and I'm not eager to start. He would presumably know.
He would know what it would take.
Yes, presumably.
Yeah.
You know, we're producing. I hope I'll see the script of this sometime.
You're thinking about it as we go.
Well, yes. You know, I'm not going to write the book, but I am very interested in what we're talking about now.
Yeah.